what's up? We've had a few videos go out, and they've been kind of sporadic. We're gonna try to get those a little more in line, but we just wanted to introduce ourselves, and because all you guys see is some videos going out. Some people know us, some people don't. So we just want to introduce ourselves. I'm Cody.
I'm Veronica.
And then this is Zayden.
And this is Camden. Hi.
So we've got a few things to go over. We're going to start with how it all started, and then our plan then and now, the boat we bought and why, and then our time frame. How it all started. I was raised on boats basically. We always had bass boats. My grandpa always went fishing. My dad. I used to get up 2-3 in the morning, go fishing with my grandpa and my dad. So always had boats in my life. The boys, we've always had boats since they were probably 3 and 1, I think, maybe even younger. Maybe Camden, I don't even know if was born, but Veronica, they didn't really do boating, but she's got a little bit of something to tell you about that.
Yeah. So until I met Cody, I had been on a John boat and then on a cruise ship. So I was really new to the boating life.
The first boat we bought while we were together, we got a boat that we actually never used. I got it running and some stuff, but it was a rough.
It had a bunch of soft spots in the floor.
It barely had a floor.
And the seats were falling apart.
It was a terrible.
Yeah, it was really rough.
Yeah.
And then you traded that for something else, and then something else, and then we ended up getting a cuddy cabin.
Yeah, we ended up getting a cuddy cabin. I traded a motorcycle for, which got us out there sleeping on the lake one time on 4th of July, and it was miserable. So we then went to a cabin cruiser.
Yeah.
And then we had 2 other cabin cruisers, got bigger each time.
Yeah, we slowly upgraded each time. And the last cabin cruiser that we bought came on a slip in a marina on Lake Monroe.
Yeah, so before we had kept our boats on buoys at Lake Monroe as well, but so we got that boat on the slip, and it was actually the year I broke my foot, which was 2022. And then we ended up finding a sailboat. We actually, let me back up a little bit. We actually thought about buying a boat in Florida, a big boat in Florida. We looked at it. It was a little too, not so much expensive. Actually, it was actually a pretty good price. But it was too old. Insurance wouldn't cover it, remember?
That, and we couldn't get a loan on it because it was too old.
That was the problem,
and,
too,
yeah.
That was actually the loan. That's
it was the loan. It wasn't the insurance.
And we ended up finding a sailboat, a little 22-foot Hunter, $1,500 for it. Came with the slip. It was paid through the next April, and this was, I think, late July maybe.
So just a few months after we bought the biggest cuddy cabin.
Actually, a month or two after.
Cabin cruiser that we had.
Yeah, because we bought it probably early June, late May, something like that. And we took the other sailboat out, I don't know, 5 times maybe, actually sailing. I went out testing some stuff because first time I took it out, it was terrible, and I was by myself late in the evening, had to work tomorrow, and I got it back in there, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't running good. And I knew that before I went out. And I had no idea how to sail at all. Had no idea. But just what we'd seen on YouTube, because we kind of got into sailing by Sailing Zatara.
Yeah, watching YouTube.
Yeah, we watched YouTube, and that's where we got into sailing, and that's actually why we went away from a powerboat and went into a sailboat. Because originally we wanted to do the Great Loop and all that. Then when we thought about going to like the Caribbean and things like that, we realized we had to have something a little more fuel efficient, even though it'll still get expensive on a sailboat. But if you don't have that initial cost of fuel, hopefully we'll find out. Hopefully it'll be better. But
so when we decided that we wanted to go the sailboat route, we decided that we needed to move somewhere where it was feasible for us to have a boat and then go out on the ocean. So we ended up on Florida because he found a job down here that he could start. I didn't work there. That he could start almost right away.
We moved to Florida in early 23. Actually, I moved first.
Yeah.
And then came down here, and we lived in a house in Lakeland that we rented. And then we ended up, they came down about a month later. Zayden came down a little bit earlier with me, and me and him hung out. but we went all over Florida. Well, kind of all over Florida, looking for boats. We did look at boats all over Florida online, but we probably looked at, I don't know, at least 15 boats.
Yeah.
And that doesn't include the ones we looked at on the hard down. Remember Punta Gorda?
Yeah. Yeah, we looked at quite a few because we were really wanting to get an idea of the layout of the different styles of boats, and that was the easiest way to figure out or narrow down what we wanted.
And videos and pictures only tell you so much.
Yeah, seeing it in person helps a lot.
Obviously, before you buy the boat, you want to see it in person.
Yeah.
Unless you just have a lot of money. We don't. But we wanted to be able to get inside the boats and see the different features. And we knew what we wanted. For the most part, you got to settle on everything unless you have a boat built. Like SV Delos building their boat, they're doing some cool stuff. Now, for us, we had to kind of settle because you can only get so much. We did get the most we could though, for the size of boat especially.
Yeah, I feel like we made a good choice with the one that we got.
When we have it nice and cleaned up one day, we'll do a boat tour too.
Yeah,
that's a big plan.
We downsized from what was that house, 1,700 square foot house to a, what is this, 250?
Yeah, 200 square foot, 250 maybe.
Yeah,
I haven't really figured that out. We actually originally downsized from Indiana. We had, like we said, had all kinds of cars, trucks, boats,
we had
bikes,
a 3-bedroom house with a detached
3-car garage,
and
a shed out back, and we had so much stuff we got rid of. We thought we got rid of a bunch of stuff, and we did, but we
still have so much stuff.
The only piece of furniture we still actually have that's truly furniture, I believe, is my great grandpa or my great grandpa, one of the two, built this table. It's nothing special, but it's old antique family table, so that's the only one I think we still have.
And that chair that you have.
Yeah, that wooden chair.
Yeah, the wooden with the metal chair.
Oh yeah, that was your grandpa's.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have it's I was thinking inside furniture, but yeah. It's a old kind of like a leaf spring style metal chair with wood planks on it.
It's really cool looking.
Yeah, I always liked it. Grandpa was going to throw it away when we lived in maybe Spencer. I think we were living in Spencer at the time. They live in Steinsville, and he was going to throw it away. So I was like, oh, I want that. We used to sit on the front porch after putting up hay, and it was amazing. So now I never use it.
Yeah.
We don't have a front porch.
Yeah, we don't really have a porch.
No.
So originally we wanted to move down here, work a good while, make a savings, and figure out when we wanted to go. And if we even wanted to go, kind of thing. We had to get on the boat, live on it, have to figure all these things out and decide. Now we've lived on the boat for 8 months. We definitely want to go.
I'm tired of being in the ground.
I've always said that my whole life. I said, I work to live. I don't live to work.
Yeah. We want to be able to do what we want when we want.
Now, that being said, I would love to find a remote job before we go. So we have that. So our plan then really was, to move down here, figure things out, see what we wanted in a boat, see, if anything changed after we got the boat. Really, the only thing that's changed is we want to go more.
Yeah.
And the kids, they're always like, oh, when are we going? I'm like, well, after we get this done. Yeah, we're all sick of living on the dock.
Yeah.
Dude. But we gotta save a little bit more, and we have to get a few things done on the boat before we go.
Yeah, we have a short list. It's okay, baby. We have a short list of things that we have to have done to the boat before we can go anywhere. So.
And we have a long list of things we want to get done on the boat, as does everyone else.
Yeah, but the long list of stuff is stuff that we can do gradually as we go, and the short list is stuff that if we want to leave in our time frame, then we have to have it done. So we're slowly working our way through that list.
Yeah. So the boat we bought, and why?
The boat we bought is a 1996 Catalina 380, which is 38 foot. You can tell that it is the prototype for this year or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are random holes underneath the floorboards everywhere.
Not everywhere. There's like 2 or 3. It's in the kitchen. There's like 2 or 3 in the kitchen.
there's random holes underneath the floorboards in a couple places, and there are random screw holes in places. It's just, you can tell that this was the one that
They put stuff places and then they moved it.
yeah, they decided that's not where they wanted
to route a hose here, and they decided that wasn't right, so they routed somewhere else. It's nothing that's going to hurt anything.
No, but it's
just
interesting
funny.
to see for sure how they went about it all.
Yeah, we actually bought this from the owner that bought it in Miami for the 1997 Miami Boat Show. So this boat was there, so that's kind of neat. So the reason we bought this boat
Is it ticked a lot of the boxes. So we really wanted a shower that was not a wet head, so a shower that was by itself. We wanted plenty of headroom in the aft cabin, which is where we stay, because I am very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
And that was one of the main things that I wanted, was enough headroom so I didn't feel like the boat was falling in around me. And then we wanted one that had as much of the off-grid living stuff as we could get. So this boat, even though the solar, we don't know if it works or not. It has solar, it has a
It's
water
gonna get
maker.
replaced anyway. The solar was only a 100-watt panel.
Yeah.
And it's not in that great shape. But yeah, it had a water maker.
It has a water maker. It has a, what is that? Wind turbine? Wind generator?
Yeah, it does have a wind generator.
It has really big water tanks.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a very big fridge, and the freezer is non-existent.
Basically.
But it ticked off most of the boxes.
We wanted that, and then we really wanted to get a 3 cabin, but that wasn't an option for what we were trying to do and the money we were trying to spend. Sailboats are actually a little cheaper now than they were a year ago. But we got a nice cabin layout. Both cabins are actually pretty nice. The layout of the boat works for us. We only wanted to have a sloop style. We didn't want to get a ketch. We only wanted one mast. So whatever style we would have went with would have been sloop or cutter or something like that. But we didn't want a ketch. We didn't want twice the rigging to have to worry about. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea. But we're pretty low mast still, under 59 foot. So we're able to go under any bridge really that we're going to find on the intercoastal that doesn't open. So we had to buy a boat that had a slip because we were living in a house at the time, and we renewed our lease in January of last year of 24, and we bought the boat in March of 24. So with that, we had to renew. Since we renewed the lease, we still had 10 months left. So we had to buy a boat that was going to be on a slip. We couldn't buy one that we really didn't want to buy one that was anchored out anywhere. And then if we were to buy a boat with a slip that wasn't liveaboard, that'd be a problem too, because then we couldn't live on the boat after the house. So that kind of narrowed us down a little bit on what we could do. So everything we looked for, we were always asking people, is that a liveaboard? Is the slip a liveaboard? Is the slip a liveaboard? So we weren't initially a liveaboard when we moved on here, or not when we moved on, but when we
purchased the boat. Yeah.
We bought it in March. We got approved for liveaboard in September last year, and then we moved on the boat, and I moved on the boat December 24, and Veronica and the boys moved on January of 25 when the lease was up.
Yeah.
But I had to take a job in St. Augustine with the same company, so I kind of had to be over here. Driving Lakeland to St. Augustine was a 3-hour drive. So we're in Daytona now.
Yeah, it's an hour and 15 minutes from here, so it's a lot better drive than in Lakeland.
So that brings us to our time frame. We're thinking about a year to year and a half. So we'd really like to leave by January 27th. That's the hope. Now, February of 26, we do plan on doing a shakedown run over to the Bahamas and back. And unless we just decide we don't have the money, then we'll go to the Keys and back. But
we're hoping to take the boat on a shakedown sail around Zayden's 14th birthday.
Yeah, we're gonna do some smaller shakedown sails before then, but we want to do some passages.
Yeah.
Even though I know it's not a huge passage to the Bahamas, but it is big for us because we came from a 10,000-acre lake, and now we're on the edge of the ocean. So, well, we're actually on the intercoastal, but we're I think it takes 10 to 15 miles, and we can be on the ocean. So it's kind of a different ball game for us. We're not used to tides and stuff. We're trying to learn all of that stuff before we go. Obviously, we got a lot to learn. But that's our time frame. If there's any other questions you guys have, though, feel free to ask. We can always include them in the next video or one of the next videos. Maybe we could do some things about us at the end of every video if you guys want us to do that. Maybe you guys even ask questions and we could answer some things like that. I don't know if we're that far along with our videos yet, but it'd be cool if we were.
Yeah. So we're hoping to get on a more regular schedule with our uploads and a more consistent content, because so far it's been all over the place, like he said earlier, and we want to make sure that we keep it about our life on the boat and what we're doing to the boat in order to get ready to go sailing.
Yeah, and then we do want to show some of the stuff we do off the boat too, but that'll likely just be little clips in episodes, not a full episode like you guys seen
Like the
our
last one.
video.
Yeah.
But we wanted to put some content out still, and the boat work I was doing, I didn't record it because I always forget. So anyway, we wanted to put some content out, and that was something we'd done for Mother's Day, and we all actually really enjoyed it. And sorry if we didn't get any pictures of the signs. You guys could have read those. Her dad brought that up too.
And he also pointed out that we did not tell anybody if the hoses that we changed on the AC fixed anything, and it did. It helped quite a bit.
Yeah, we still get we will still get high pressure code, so we get an HPF code on the AC, but that's just basically it's not seeing enough water flow.
We're still trying to figure out why it's doing that.
Well, I think I know why. Our pump, I think, is a little slower than what it needs to be. I think it needs to pump a little more volume.
Isn't it the original pump from the other AC, the first AC?
It was. So we put a whole new AC unit. Everything is brand new except the pump.
Yeah.
But the other problem is it's summertime in Florida, especially here on the Halifax River. The river is so dirty, and we get stuff stuck in the strainer all the time. If we don't clean it out in time, we get the high pressure codes. But sometimes it just seems to be worse, and you sometimes you might clean it out, it's good, and then sometimes it's just worse, but it doesn't last as long.
Yeah, no.
But we also sucked up some jellyfish at one point, so that didn't help either.
No.
So we ran descaling through it and cleaned it up a little bit, but we just basically have to change the strainer every week. The hoses definitely did help though, because they were pieced together. So now it's actually all one size hose. It doesn't drop from 5/8 to 1/2 inch and back to 5/8, and it was all sporadic all over the place. So.
Yeah. Okay.
But I want to talk about something.
What is it that you like most about living on a boat?
Yeah.
That we don't have to mow a yard.
I mean, that's a good reason.
That's fair.
What
Yeah,
about you?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best part though is climbing down in the tight areas and cleaning though, right?
Yeah, like what you did today.
No.
Yeah.
No?
That was hard.
Yeah.
You like that part too, didn't you?
Bend it almost in half.
We weren't fitting in there,
No.
nor were we going to be able to bend. I've got a pretty tight back and neck, so there's no way I was going to be able to get in there, even if my belly let me.
And the only way I was able to get in there is like
It's because you are tiny.
Yeah.
I think I'm like 4.
You're 4'6".
No, 4'8".
I think
that.
4'8".
4'9", 4'8".
We're getting way off subject.
Anyway, and what is your least favorite thing about living on a boat? Chores. You have the same
What's your-
chores living on a boat
Yeah, you did
as
dishes.
you did in the house.
Did
You
dishes
do
and
the
clean your room.
dishes and you make sure your room is clean.
Actually, it's even easier now because
We have less stuff.
you have less room, less stuff. Okay. So Zayden, what about you? What's your favorite thing about living on a boat and your least favorite thing about living on a boat?
My least favorite is
Okay.
well, my favorite is the beach is like 3 or 4 minutes away.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. We don't go to the beach in the summer, but we do go a lot in the fall.
Yeah, spring and fall.
My second favorite thing is about living on a boat. I'm only doing a second one. Pancakes.
Okay, well, thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
When are turning